In this exercise video, we're going to be going through a terminal knee extension exercise to really activate the quad muscle, and we're going to add in a little mini squat to make this as functional as possible. So what we need to do is get our resistance band and tie it off to something that's going to be at knee level. So I have this shut in a door, but you can tie it off to any furniture that's not going to move, or in a squat rack or anything like that. And what we want to do is create a loop, so that way we can put our leg in between here. We're going to have this just behind the knee, maybe right above the actual knee joint line, so it's nice and comfortable. Now we're going to come back so we have a little bit of tension on the band as we're just setting ourselves up here, because we want to have some resistance as our knee is going in and out of flexion and extension. Get your feet about hip width apart or slightly wider, toes facing forward or slightly out to the side. And we're going to start off with just getting into a little mini squat position. So you want to think equal weight between both feet, so we're not shifting one way over the other, but also equal weight between your balls of your feet and your heels, so you're flat totally on your heels, on your feet, and not back on our heels. So if your toes are lifting up, we're too far back. Make sure you have your toes rooted into the ground. Nice tall, long spine posture, light engagement of our core here to make sure our spine is staying in neutral as we're going in and out of this mini squat position. So just going through the mini squat, tall posture, core engaged, feet planted into the ground, squat down maybe a quarter of the depth or however deep you've been instructed to squat down, keeping your knees centered over your feet and not caving in or pushing out. And then when we come up, we're going to push this knee back into the band, really squeezing our quad muscle and making sure this knee straightens out as much as possible at the very top. And then slow release down into the squat, and then come up and squeeze. The slow release is really important part of the exercise. So you want to take your time with that mini squat and really control this knee bending instead of just letting the band pull you forward. So you got to think really slow, controlled movements, and then nice steady up and squeeze and straighten that leg. And then if we want to add in our breathing, we're going to inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up through the exercise. You can notice I'm trying to keep my spine nice and straight as we're doing this exercise, so that way I'm not starting to arch my back as I'm squatting, but I'm also not rounding forward. Nice spine posture, keeping it nice and straight throughout the exercise, and really focusing on this knee stability and control as we're going in and out of this mini squat position. You want to make sure that if it's digging into the back of your leg, is causing some discomfort because of the band, put a towel there to pad it so it's not causing any tissue injury or pain there. So you can always pat it with a wash rag or something like that to make this more comfortable. But think really slow, controlled motion. You can start to get deeper into the squat if you've been instructed to do that. And choosing a resistance level that's been prescribed to you by your physical therapist.